Okay, so I really didn't do an intro into this video. I kind of just started it, but I'll be doing my everyday makeup routine. This is kind of like my rushed version, but that's kind of everyday, so it's kind of like my everyday makeup routine. You'll see. Nothing major. Okay, and I get started by putting my hair up in a bun, getting it out of the way. I then grab Witch Hazel and a cotton pad, which I use as a toner, and just put it all over my face. I then use my Clinique Jelly Moisturizer and apply that all over my face. I don't do this every day, but most of the time I do, but usually I forget and don't feel like it. And then onto my favorite part of my entire face prep is the Magical Moringa like primer moisturizer thing from Lush. This is amazing for oily faces, which I have. I then move on to my Maybelline Fit Me stick foundation in the shade 220. I apply this all over my face by kind of just drawing dashes. I then blend it in using a buffer brush. I then move on to concealer, which switches up every week, but for the sake of this video, I am using the Tarte Shape Tape in light medium, which is getting way too dark for me now, but whatever, let's disregard that. I then blend it out with a beauty blender. I apply it under my eyes, on my forehead, I don't know, depending if I have blemishes. I then move on to brows using a Morphe brush and Anastasia Dip Brow in medium brown. I honestly only fill in my brows like 30% of the time, but I included it anyway, so who cares? I literally already know I'm gonna regret leaving this in.
I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier when the morning comes and we see what.
I then move on to concealing the brows, so I use a concealer from Cover FX, which I think they don't have anymore, and then I use a flat brush from ELF, and I kind of just conceal the brow, which is kind of self-explanatory.
I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits. I want to see you smile, but no, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking.
I then move on to setting my face. Here I'm using the Banana Powder by Morphe, and I'm kind of just setting my under eyes most importantly, and then that's pretty much all I do for setting, which is pretty bad, but whatever. So the next step is so important to me, so important, because without it I look like Humpty Dumpty. So here I am using the Tarte Amazonian bronzer, I think it's called, in the shade Hotel Heiress, and I'm using a angled brush and kind of just doing the big three. If you know what that is, then you know, otherwise it's just a three on your face.
No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. So I'll go. I will go. So I'll go. I will go.
I also slightly contour my nose using a blending brush and the same bronzer that I used for the rest of my face.
I want you to be happier. Even though I might not like this, I think that you'll be happier. I want you to be happier.
I then move on to blush. Here I'm using Tarte's Amazonian Clay blush in the shade Exposed. I love this because it's so natural looking. I also apply blush on the nose bridge, which is weird and I didn't do it here, but I like a sun-kissed look, so that's why. I then move on to eyelashes. So I just curl my eyelashes. I honestly never use mascara, which is kind of a shocker, but yeah, I never use mascara.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier.
I then reach for my handy e.l.f. eyebrow gel that I've been using forever, and I slightly coat my eyebrows and just to keep them in place for the day.
I think that we both know the way that the story ends. Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me.
Then I reach for my gloss, which also switches up every day. Here I'm using the Sephora lip plumping one. I don't really know what it's called or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. That's what I do every day. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, and pretty natural. I hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time.
And the image of you being with someone else, well, it's eating me up inside. But we ran our course, we pretended we're okay.